What if Batman arrived in the Marvel Universe? In the Batcave, Bruce Wayne stares at a live feed of Gotham's sky cracking like glass. The crack is not magic or weather. It matches no data on Earth, but it is growing fast. He decides that if a new universe is bleeding into his, he will go there first and stop it. Batman steps onto a metal ring wired to alien fragments and a pulsing black core, knowing one jump might burn his body and mind apart. He whispers Alfred's name, slams his fist on the trigger, and a white hole tears open and drags him through. The sky over New York City rips open at noon. People on the street stop and stare as clouds twist into a spiral of white and black. Phones rise. Someone screams. A child clutches her mother's hand and points at the strange hole tearing across the blue. Wind slams down in a hard wave, kicking trash into the air and rattling windows. High above, a dark shape falls out of the wound in the sky. Spider-Man feels it before he sees it. His spider sense spikes like a fire alarm in his head. He swings around a glass tower, skids along a window, and looks up. A black figure with a wide cape tumbles out of the hole, trailing sparks and fragments of glowing metal. "Okay, that's new," Peter whispers inside his mask. On a SHIELD helicarrier far above the city, alarm lights flash red. Nick Fury, director of the world's main spy agency, strides into the command deck. Screens show the torn sky, the falling man, and strange readings. "Talk to me," he says. "Unknown portal," Maria Hill reports. "Not like the last alien invasion. Energy is layered. Time and space both. The falling object is human-sized. Mass matches an armored person. Get the Avengers in the air," Fury says, "and lock that thing down." Below, the falling figure wakes. Pain hits Bruce Wayne like a hammer. He feels the last impact of the jump in his bones. The remains of the dimensional bridge hum around his waist, a thin ring of metal half fused to his belt. The sky spins. He blinks through the dark lenses of his cowl and sees only open air and a city he does not know. New skyline, he thinks. Not Gotham, not my world. He tightens his body, spreads his cape. The suit's glider systems kick in, but the jump fried parts of them. The cape shudders, catches some air, then tears along one edge. He is still dropping too fast. He fires a grapnel line at the nearest tower. The hook slams into steel. The line goes tight, jerks his shoulder hard enough to make him hiss. He swings toward the glass and releases at the last second. Rolling along the side of the building, boots skidding on the smooth surface. Down below, a tourist bus swerves as people stare up. A burning chunk of metal from the portal spins toward the bus's roof like a falling bomb. The driver looks up too late. Children inside scream and cover their faces. Batman fires a second line, pulls himself into a sharp dive, and hits the bus roof in a slide. He plants a magnetic charge on the falling debris in midair, then kicks off the bus and yanks the line. The charge explodes sideways. The metal fragment shatters into a spray of harmless pieces that ping off cars and pavement. The shockwave slams Batman onto the street. He slides hard, armor scraping, then lies still for a moment, chest heaving. Codex note: the dimensional bridge core bound to Batman's belt burns energy with every shock, and each spike drains both his suit and his body. People rush toward the bus, then stop when they see him. The black armor, the pointed ears, the white eyes. A little boy in a Captain America shirt whispers, "Is that Batman?" Batman pushes himself to his feet. His ribs ache. There is a hot line of pain along his shoulder where the grapnel pulled too hard. He checks the belt. The fused ring glows a weak, angry red. Stable for now, he thinks, but not for long. The ground shakes, cars bounce, windows rattle. The crack in the sky shrinks a little, but new circles of light spin open lower in the air. They look like clocks cut into the world, rings of bright blue numbers and symbols. From each ring, metal shapes drop out. They are not ships and not simple drones. They are too smooth, too sharp, with arms that unfold and refold like blades. Their chests hold glowing cores that flicker in a pattern like a heartbeat. Spider-Man swings closer and lands on a lamppost. "Right," he mutters. "So it's Robot O'Clock again." One of the machines turns its head. Its face is a flat plate with one red line. It scans Batman, then Spider-Man, then the bus. It fires. A beam of blue-white energy slams into the street. Asphalt erupts, flipping a car like a toy. People scatter, screaming. Batman moves. He throws 3 small discs in a tight arc. They hit the beam emitter on the robot's arm and explode in sharp pops of electric light. The arm goes dead, hanging limp. Spider-Man shoots webbing at another robot's legs and yanks it off balance. "I don't know who you are," he calls to Batman, "but I like your style." Batman does not answer. He is already counting. Number of civilians, number of machines, number of exits, number of seconds before someone dies. Overhead, a red and gold streak cuts through the air. Iron Man slams down between the robots and the bus. His faceplate folds back just enough to show his eyes. "Okay," Tony Stark says. Giant time clocks in the sky, angry shavers on the ground, and a bat. Did I miss a memo? Another streak hits the pavement beside him, shield up. Captain America raises his shield as a beam hits it and splashes off in bright sparks. He glances at Batman, taking in the armor, the stance, the focus on the civilians. "Whoever you are," Cap says, "you just saved that bus. Help us keep them alive, and we'll talk later." "Agreed," Batman says, voice low and flat. Thunder rolls. Across the city, a bolt of lightning slams into the street, cracking it open and blasting 3 robots back at once. Thor lands in the smoke, hammer in hand, cape whipping in the hot wind. He grins, then sees the machine stand up again as blue time light stitches their bodies back together. "They heal," he says. "Annoying." The ground shakes harder. A green blur crashes into a cluster of machines and scatters them like pins. Hulk roars, grabs one by the leg, and slams it into another. Metal flies. The glowing cores flicker, then reform, rebuilding the broken frames. Black Widow rolls out from behind an overturned car, pistols ready. She fires at the cores, eyes narrowed, looking for patterns. One shot hits just as the core reboots and makes it stutter. "They cycle," she calls. "There's a reset window. Hit them then." Batman watches, learning. These are not regular robots. They slip in and out of time, rewinding their own damage. He scans their movements, tracks the pulse of their cores. The belt ring at his waist hums faster, reacting to the same strange energy. He throws a smoke pellet at his feet and moves through the cloud. In seconds, he is behind one of the machines. He slaps a small device onto its back. On his gauntlet screen, the device begins to read the core's pattern in sharp spikes. Iron Man hovers above, repulsors burning bright. He fires a wide beam that hits 3 machines at once. They stagger but heal again, metal knitting in glowing lines. "They're out of phase," he says over the comm line, "like they're not fully here." On the helicarrier, SHI watches the fight. "Avengers are holding the line," Hill reports. "Unknown ally is using analog tech, but he's accurate and fast. His gear is reading off the charts. Director, that belt of his, the ring. It's ringing our time sensors like a bell." Fury narrows his eye. "Patch me in," he says. "I want to talk to the Bat." Down below, Batman yanks his device off the robot's back and hurls it at another one. "Now," he mutters. The device detonates in a sharp pulse of dark red. For a split second, the time cores flicker out of rhythm. Their bodies sag. They cannot heal. "Hit them," Captain America shouts. Thor's hammer crushes one core. Hulk rips another robot in half. Spider-Man webs a third to the ground, and Iron Man fires a focused repulsor shot straight into its chest. 3 machines fall and stay down, smoking. The others step back in eerie, perfect sync. They tilt their heads, like they are all listening to the same distant voice. Then they jump, up, not out, and fly back into the spinning blue rings. The portals close. Silence falls over the ruined street. Smoke rises from broken cars and shattered glass. People cry and cough and pull each other out of wreckage. Batman looks at the damage. He feels the weight of every broken window, every hurt body. He hates it, but he knows it could have been worse. He also feels the ring on his belt. It is burning hot now. He can hear it, a thin keen in his ears, like a scream stretched over time. Spider-Man swings down and lands nearby, breathing hard. "Okay," he says. "Robot's gone. Weird Bat guy still here. Avengers accounted for. What did I miss?" Iron Man touches down, armor hissing. His faceplate opens. He studies Batman with a mix of curiosity and caution. "Name?" Tony asks. "Batman," he replies. "Of course it is," Tony mutters. "All right, Batman. You're not in any of our files. Armor is advanced but looks home-built. Your belt is making my sensors cry. Where did you come from?" "Another universe," Batman says. "Yours may be in danger because of me, or because of what chased me." The crowd around them shifts. A New York Police Department captain steps forward, face sweaty, uniform dusty. "I don't care where he's from," she says. "He just saved that bus, and probably half this block. Thank you, Batman." She holds out her hand. Batman hesitates, then takes it, firm and brief. Captain America watches with a small nod. Here, on this broken street, this man in black chose the civilians first. A blue hollow screen flickers into life above them. Nick Fury's face appears, eye hard, jaw tight. "Avengers," he says. "And, guessed, Fury here. That was not a random attack. Energy signature matches something we've seen in deep space and way past current time. We need everyone who can fight in one room, now." Fury's gaze locks on Batman. "And that includes you, Batman from another world. You're tied to this. I can see it in our scans. So until I know if you're a threat, you're coming in under watch." "Fine," Batman says. "As long as we move fast. Those machines were scouts. The main force is still coming." "How do you know that?" Black Widow asks. "Because that's how I would do it," he answers. Iron Man's eyes narrow. He sends a silent ping to the helicarrier. "Prep a secure bay," he says. "We're bringing in a multiverse-sized problem." High above, the SHIELD helicarrier turns in the air, a flying fortress with engines the size of houses and a deck lined with jets. To the people on the ground, it looks like a warship that learned to fly. New York looks up at it, at the ruined street, at the strange new hero in black. The world has changed again. Up to now, a man in a batsuit has fallen from another universe into New York, fought beside the Avengers, and helped drive off strange time robots. The city is hurt but still standing, and a bigger attack is coming. Hours later, in a high chamber of Avengers Tower, the war table glows. A circular holomap shows Earth. Bright points mark cities, energy lines, and recent portal sites. The biggest flare pulses over New York, where Batman's arrival burned a scar in reality. Batman stands at the edge of the table, gauntlets resting on its rim. The others are spread around him. Iron Man in half-open armor. Captain America in his suit, shield on his back. Black Widow in dark tactical gear, arms folded. Bruce Banner in simple clothes, hands fidgeting. Thor leaning on his hammer. Spider-Man perched on a railing. And on a screen, Nick Fury watching them all, one eye sharp. Doctor Strange stands a little apart, red cloak of levitation resting over his shoulders. As Sorcerer Supreme, he is the closest thing this world has to a sacred guardian of reality. Let's start simple, Tony says. You say you're from another universe. Prove it. Batman taps the belt ring. A faint sphere of light appears over the table. It shows Gotham's skyline at night. Tight, vertical, full of gargoyles and towers. The image flickers, then shifts to a young Bruce at a crime alley. 2 bodies on the ground. His jaw tightens. He kills the feed. Memory projection, he says. Linked to my world signal. There is no city like this on your Earth. Your sensors read my suit as built from alloys you do not use. And your magic user, he nods at Strange, can feel the difference. Strange's eyes close for a moment. He reaches out with his mind, his hands tracing a sign in the air. This man is out of tune with our reality, Strange says slowly. His body is real, his soul is steady, but there is a thin line of wrongness around him. Like a note from another song forced into this one. The device on his belt is the anchor. Anchor? Fury asks. It keeps him here, Strange says, and keeps his home from tearing more of our universe open. Bruce Banner steps closer, tablet in hand. This ring on your belt, he says to Batman. It's giving off huge time and gravity readings. If it fails, we don't know what happens. You might snap back home. You might rip a hole through both universes, or you might smear across both like paint. Batman nods once. I assumed as much, he says. So you jumped anyway, Captain America says. There is no judgment in his voice, only a kind of sad respect. Gotham was going to die, Batman says. If I did nothing, the crack would spread. It was a test. If I jumped, the stress might shift onto me, onto the bridge. I gamble when the other option is certain death for everyone else. That's your ethic, Cap asks. You risk yourself to save others, not the other way around. Yes, Batman says. I do not kill. I do not let cities fall if there is any other way. My city, any city. Thor snorts softly. A worthy vow, he says. But there are foes in this realm who do not care for vows. Tony zooms the map. New dots appear. These are new portal seeds, he says. Tiny tears in the air in several cities. Not open yet, but they match the same time energy as our robot friends. Someone is setting up for a big strike. Who? Black Widow asks. We saw a symbol in their code, Batman says. I couldn't read all of it, but there was a pattern that repeated, shaped like a letter. K. Tony flips his hands. Screens appear, showing old SHEIELD files. A masked man in blue and purple armor appears, face hidden behind a smooth plate. Kang, Fury says, Time Conqueror, claims he's ruled more futures than we have years. We fought versions of him before. Thought he was gone. Guess he found a new trick. Banner frowns. Time Conqueror, he says softly. Someone who lives outside our line. Who can look at any path, pick the one he likes. And if he's tied to your ring, Tony says to Batman, he may have used your jump like a beacon. So I brought the war here, Batman says. Silence settles for a moment. No, Captain America says. Kang chose to use this. That's on him. You made a hard call to save your world. Now we make one to save ours. War Council, Fury says from the screen. So let's have it. Stark, what's the play? Tony paces. On the ground, we can hit the portals when they open, he says. Avengers can cover major cities. But if Kang is using those robots to reset damage, we're in a loop. We smash, they heal. Civilians get stomped in the middle. We need a way to hit the core, the command node. The main node will be outside normal time, Strange says. A citadel between seconds. You cannot fly there on jets. Batman studies the map. He thinks of the way the robots healed. He thinks of the rhythm in their cores. They were syncing to something, he says, like soldiers listening to a drum. If we can hear that drum, we can follow it. Your belt hears it, Banner says. Our sensors picked up the same hum. You're a walking antenna for Kang's network. Use me as bait then, Batman says. Let him lock onto me, trace the signal back, find his base. Absolutely not, Strange says at once. You are a foreign object in this reality. If Kang hooks onto you, he may drag both universes into his own, a trophy of 3 worlds at once. Also, Banner adds, your ring is already unstable. Every spike in time energy hurts you. Your nervous system is not happy. Batman's jaw tightens. If I don't take the risk, he says, who does? You, your team, your world. Spider-Man speaks up, quiet but firm. We all take risks, he says. But there are rules, right? There should be. There has to be a line. Otherwise, we're just throwing people at a problem until someone sticks. There it is, the start of the debate. You have a no-kill rule, Black Widow says to Batman. You said that. You won't kill even monsters. How does that work when the monster is outside time and wants to turn Earth into his trophy room? I find another way, Batman says. And if there isn't one, she asks. I make one, he says. Sometimes there isn't, she says. I've seen that. In the Red Room. In the war. Sometimes it's kill or watch a city burn. Captain America looks between them. I try not to kill either, he says. But in war, sometimes people die because of what we do, or what we don't do. The line is real, Batman, but so is the fire on the other side of it. So you bend, Batman says. You accept a little darkness to stop a bigger one. Tony shrugs. I'm a futurist, he says. I run numbers. If one life saves 1,000,000, I push the button. Not happy about it, but I do it. That's the math. Strange speaks, voice calm. I guard the laws of reality, he says. Some rules cannot be broken, even to save lives. If we rip time apart to stop Kang, we may stop him, and break everything else. Death is not the worst outcome. Endless screaming worlds are worse. Batman listens. He hears mercy. He hears survival. He hears doctrine. All are honest. All are heavy. My rule is simple, he says. No killing. No guns. Not because it's easy. Because if I cross that line once, I will cross it again. I know myself. I won't stop. I become the thing I fight. Thor nods slowly. You fear your own rage, he says. I understand this. But we're not you, Tony says. We have to think about more than one city, more than one world. We have gods, aliens, magic, space tyrants. No offense, but your rule may not scale. Then you hold your line, Batman says. I hold mine, and we win without becoming him. Him, Banner asks. The man who killed my parents, Batman says softly. The worst version of me. The one who gives up and decides fear is not enough. Fury clears his throat. Philosophy hour is nice, he says. But we have a strike coming. We need a plan that respects Strange's rules, doesn't break the world, and still hits back. Stark, Tony exhales. Okay, he says. We do this in layers. Avengers hit the portals in major cities. Strange and I build a filter around Bat-Belt here so he can hear Kang's drumbeat without exploding. We trace the signal, find the node, then we send a small team in. Stealth, surgical strike. Who's on that team? Cap asks. Me, Batman says at once. I figured, Tony replies. Probably Cap because he's stubborn and noble. Widow for infiltration. Strange if we need a magic exit. Maybe Spider-Man on recon. Hulk stays in reserve in case the node leaks radiation or something worse. Banner nods, a little pale. Fine, he says. If I'm needed, I'm needed. Meanwhile, Fury says, SHIELD will keep civilians alive. We'll move people out of high-risk zones. We can't stop Kang's machines everywhere, but we can give them fewer targets. Strange raises a hand. There is one more problem, he says. Everyone looks at him. If Kang lives outside time, he can watch us plan this, Strange explains. He can peek at any version of this meeting and pick the branch where he wins. We need something he cannot read, a choice he cannot see until it happens. Batman thinks of his own strength, not his gadgets, not his training, his mind. Then we don't plan everything, he says. We build a frame, leave gaps. I decide some moves in the moment, in my head. No notes, no code, no talk. Tony frowns. That's messy, he says. It's human, Batman says. He expects perfect logic, straight lines. We give him crooked ones. We use chaos and choice to beat a man who thinks everything is fixed. Strange studies him. You are a creature of control, Strange says. You train every second, plan every breath. You would trust chance. I would trust will, Batman says. Mine, theirs. He nods at the Avengers. We are not numbers on a board. Not to me, not to him. The room is quiet for a moment. Then Cap smiles, just a little. I can work with that, he says. We hold the line. We protect people. We keep our souls. And we still fight. Before they can say more, the tower shakes. Lights flicker. The holomap shatters into static, then reforms into a different image. A room of endless mirrors. A throne made of broken clocks. A tall figure in blue and purple armor. Face hidden behind a smooth mask. The voice that fills the room is calm, confident and tired. Avengers, Kang says. And guessed. I wondered when the bat would meet the shield. Visual intrusion, Tony snaps. He's hacking the tower from outside time. Cut it. Strange lifts a hand. Magic sigils flare. They sputter against the image and then fade, like light on glass. You cannot cut what has already been, Kang says. This message is from your future and your past. I am watching all your meetings at once. This is the one where you first see me. Enjoy the moment. Batman steps closer to the image. Why attack my world, he asks. Why follow me here? You broke the wall, little detective, Kang says. You built a bridge across universes. I was already matching that frequency. I did not cause your crack, but I saw it, and I saw you. A mind that solves impossible puzzles. A tool I could use. I am not your tool, Batman says. Not yet, Kang replies. But you are already useful. Your anchor spreads stress across both worlds. When I take them, they will fold nicely together. A clean trophy. My collection grows. Images flicker in the air. Gotham and New York, laid over each other. Skies filled with clock rings. Statues of Kang in every square. Stop it, Spider-Man says, voice tight. Shut it off. I want you to understand, Kang says. I am not a brute. I am a gardener of timelines. Your worlds grow wild. I prune them. You can resist. It will hurt. Or you can help. Batman, you have the mind for this. Work with me. I will save your city. Both cities. I will freeze them in. Perfect safety. No more pain, no more crime. All it costs is freedom. Batman feels the words cut at him. A world without crime, without children screaming in alleys, without funerals and broken parents. He imagines Gotham, still and silent under glass. Safe. Dead. No, he says. Kang tilts his head. You are famous for preparation, Kang says. For planning every move. But I have seen all your plans, all your nights, all your broken bones. 99 out of 100 times you lose to someone like me. You die early, your city burns later. In a few lines you win, but everyone you love is dust. Your crusade is cute but small. The room feels colder. Batman's heart pounds. For a moment, he sees it too. Years of work, all the gadgets, all the training. And still, a random bullet, a hidden bomb, a cosmic storm, and it all ends. You do not need to fight me, Kang says. You only need to accept reality. Help me build a better cage. I will give you a perfect Gotham under glass. In return, you stop resisting. You stop breaking my patterns. Batman meets that blank mask and feels something old and stubborn rise in his chest. The world is not yours, he says. No world is. People are not pieces to arrange in your collection. We make our own choices. We build our own safety. I will not help you take that away, even to stop pain. Kang is silent for a heartbeat. Then he laughs, soft and almost kind. There it is, he says. The flaw I needed to see. Your fear of failure, your worship of choice, your refusal to accept the math. This is why you will break. This is why you are fun. The tower trembles again. The image of Kang expands, filling the room. Everyone flinches as energy sweeps through them. Batman staggers. The ring on his belt screams. A spike of time light runs up his spine. For a second, he is everywhere he has ever been. Crime alley, rooftops, the cave, the jump. He sees 1,000 versions of himself. Some die at 12. Some never put on the cowl. Some become worse than his worst nightmares. He falls to one knee, fists clenched. In front of him, the others are moving at half speed, their voices slow and warped. Time has gone strange around him. Interesting, Kang says, voice now only in Batman's mind. Your anchor makes you a weak point and a weapon. I can pull on you and watch this universe shake. Remember that, Bat. Every time you fight, you hurt the worlds you care about. Then it stops. The image pops like a soap bubble. Lights return. The tower steadies. Batman is on one knee, panting. Sweat runs down his face under the cowl. Bruce, Banner says, startled. Your readings just spiked off every chart I have. Are you okay? Batman stands slowly. I will be, he says, but he can reach me, directly, through the ring. Power scaling interlude. He lives outside our time, Banner says quietly, more to himself than to anyone. Kang looks at our days like pages in a book. He can open to any page he wants. He used your anchor as a bookmark, Tony adds. That ring on your belt? It connects two universes and the space between them. He can tug it and shake you out of sync. He attacked your mind because that is your true weapon, Strange says to Batman. If he can make you doubt your choices, your rules, your worth, your planning fails. And if your planning fails, Black Widow says, we lose one of the few people who can think on his level. This is why he is dangerous to you, Cap finishes. Not just his army, his idea that choices do not matter. The room is quiet. They all understand now. This is not just a fight with robots. It is a fight over what the world is. A script Kang writes alone, or a story people write together. Batman looks at the ring on his belt. He feels the ache in his bones, the echo of voices from other lives. He wants me to break, he says, to accept that he's already won, that all this is just numbers. I won't give him that, but we need to move faster. Tony nods. Then we go to phase 2, he says. We harden your anchor. Strange wraps it in magic. I wire it through Stark Tech. Banner monitors your brain so you don't fry it. Then we let Kang tug on you again and follow the line back to his door. Strange lifts a brow. This is risky, he says. Every time he touches the anchor, he stresses the walls between worlds. And every time I breathe, I stress my ribs, Batman says. We keep going anyway. Cap smiles faintly. Welcome to the Avengers, he says. We argue with gods, then jump out of planes. Outside, new portal seeds glow faintly over the world. Time is almost up. The next day, the war room moves to the Sanctum Sanctorum. Doctor Strange's home in New York looks like a strange museum from the outside. Inside, the war table is a floating circle of light. Around it stand Batman, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Thor, Spider-Man, Bruce Banner, and Wong, Strange's quiet second. Strange waves a hand. The room fills with images, cities under glass, lines of blue light circling Earth, a tower made of broken clocks, hanging in a place where no stars shine. This is Chronopolis, Strange says. Kang's city outside time. It sits in the gaps between seconds. Every tower is a lock on some part of history. Every street is a path to a different version of Earth. Cute, Tony says. Hate it already. Lines of red appear where blue ones cross. These are his invasion routes, Strange goes on. He sends his machines through portals to test resistance. If they meet no match, he sends more. If they meet a threat, he rewinds and tries another angle. We see one attack, he sees 1,000. So every time we win, Banner says, that's just the one branch where we didn't die. Exactly, Strange says. Standard counters fail because he can always rewind his own forces. Our punches are soft clay to him. He only keeps the timelines where he wins. Batman watches the moving lines. If he can reset his side, he says, why can't he reset ours? Rules, Strange says. Even time tyrants have limits. He cannot change everything. He needs fixed points, anchors, things that keep the story stable enough for him to sit on top of it. And I'm one of them, Batman says. You and your ring, Banner replies. You jumped between universes. That broke normal rules. Kang grabbed that break and pinned it into his system. He can't stop you from choosing, but he can hurt you when you do. So how do we fight a man who cheats like that? Spider-Man asks. By hitting what he cannot rewind, Batman says. His anchors, his main node, the places where he puts too much of himself into one point. If we break those, he feels it. Strange nods. There are 3 main anchor nodes linked to your device, he says. One is in Chronopolis. One is in deep space, tied to a ruined star. The third is somewhere on Earth, hidden. That is the one we can reach first. Tony brings up another image. A web of lines spreads around the globe. One line glows brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Atlantic Ocean, he says. Deep, off normal shipping lanes. Something is pulsing there in sync with Bat-Belt's hum. My guess, a hidden relay, an outpost Kang dropped into our ocean. Standard subs? Cap asks. Too slow, Tony says. Too easy to see. I suggest a stealth Quinjet, cloaked, with a drop team. Then Strange opens a door at depth. Door at that pressure? Wong says. Risky. That's your part, Tony shoots back. You and magic. I do armor and sarcasm. We go, Batman says. Small team, quiet. We find the node. We disable it. And meanwhile, Fury's voice cuts in from a wall screen. Because my sensors say portal seeds are waking up in 10 major cities. Avengers split, Cap says at once. Thor to Europe, Hulk to Asia, with Banner in control if possible. Widow and Spider-Man in New York to protect civilians. Iron Man in the air, fast response. Wong protect the Sanctum. I lead the strike team with Batman and Strange. Black Widow nods. I'll hold New York, she says, but we'll need clear rules. Who do we save first, civilians or anchors? We can't do both everywhere. Civilians, Cap says, always. Batman looks at him. You choose people over strategy, he says, even if it loses the war. If we lose who we are to win, Cap says, we already lost. That is doctrine, Strange says softly. Mine is different. I protect the whole, the shape of reality. Sometimes that means letting some parts fall. And my math, Tony says we juggle numbers and try not to drop any balls. We can't save everyone, but we can save a lot if we are smart and fast. They all look at Batman. What's your call? Fury asks. You're the unknown, the anomaly. Where does your line sit? Batman thinks of Gotham. He remembers nights when he had to choose. One hostage here, many hostages there. He made the call that saved the most. He still sees the faces he did not reach. I do not kill, he says. I do not stand still. I save as many as I can without crossing that line. And I do it by planning better than the man on the other side. We keep people first. We also keep moving on the nodes. No one gets to be a number on a board, not even in my head. They stay human. That's the rule. Strange nods, accepting it, even if he does not share it. Then we move, he says. Portals open in minutes. They break. It is like watching a storm hit the world. From the Sanctum, Strange and Wong open a series of glowing orange doors. Thor steps through one and comes out above Paris, hammer raised, lightning dancing around him. Hulk and Banner ride a SHIELD jet into the sky, then drop toward a portal waking up over Shanghai. Black Widow and Spider-Man swing and run through New York, clearing streets as blue circles flicker into life. One door opens to a Quinjet hangar. Batman, Cap, Tony and Strange step onto the jet. The ramp closes. Engines hum. See you on the other side, Tony says. Try not to drown. He peels off in his armor and rockets out into the clouds. The Quinjet dives. Water fills the view as it slides under the waves. Cloak engaged. Lights dim. Cap glances at Batman. You can still back out, he says. You didn't sign up for this world. I jumped here, Batman replies. This is my fight now. And if Kang wins here, he reaches my world sooner or later. There is no back out. There is only forward. Strange stands in the middle of the jet, eyes closed. He feels for the pulse of the hidden node. He finds it like a sour note in a song. There, he says, 20 miles ahead, deep. The jet glides to a stop, hovering. Strange draws a circle in the air. Orange sparks spin, forming a ring. Cold, crushing water roars on the other side, held back by magic in a bubble. Go, Strange says. We keep the portal small and stable. The bigger it is, the more it tears at the sea. Batman steps through first. The water bubble feels thin around him. Outside it, the ocean is dark and heavy. Ahead, in the black, something glows. A metallic shape like a spearhead planted in the sea floor. Rings of blue light turn around it. Time energy pulses in each rotation. This is it, Batman says. Kang's relay. Cap and Strange step through after him. The portal stays small, humming, as Wong holds it from the Sanctum. They move toward the relay. Each step feels slow, like walking in a dream. Batman's ring responds. It glows brighter, in sync with the relay's pulse. He feels it in his bones, like a second heartbeat. "Careful," Strange says. "You are a lightning rod down here." Something moves in the dark. At first, it looks like a shadow. Then it steps into the bubble's edge and solidifies. Blue and silver armor, high collar, face covered by a smooth mask with a single vertical slit of light. "I am Tempus Rex," the figure says, voice echoing wrong. "Kang's first blade. You should not have come here, Bat." He steps lightly on nothing, standing on the very edge of Strange's bubble, as if the water is a floor. Two long blades unfold from his arms. They shimmer, bending light. "When these swords cut," he says, "they slice through time as well as flesh. They erase moments, undo steps. You will feel them in your bones." Cap raises his shield. "Another time, tyrant," he mutters. "You people need a hobby." Tempus moves. He does not sprint like a normal man. He blinks from one side of the bubble to the other, skipping frames. One moment, he is in front of Cap. The next, he is behind Batman. Batman moves, barely. The first sword slash misses his spine, but clips his cape. The cape edge vanishes, clean gone, as if it was never there. Pain shoots up Batman's back anyway. His muscles spasm, confused by the missing weight. Strange throws a spell, chains of orange light, whipping around Tempus. They snap tight, then they flicker and vanish. "I exist half a second ahead of you," Tempus says. "Old tricks cannot hold me, but they can slow you, and slow is death." He swings again. Cap's shield meets the blade. There is a flash. For a moment, Batman sees a strange image. Cap without the shield. Old. Broken. Then reality snaps back. The shield is still there, but a deep scar burns across its surface. "That's not possible," Cap breathes. "Vibranium doesn't scar like that." "It does when I erase the time when it was whole," Tempus says. He aims the next strike at Batman. Batman ducks low. The sword slices the ring on his belt. There is a scream that is not a sound. The ocean shakes. Batman's mind fills with white. He is again in all places he has ever been. But now he also sees places he never was. Gotham burning. Gotham shining. Gotham under glass with Kang's face on every building. He drops to one knee, gasping. "Bruce!" Cap shouts. Tempus reaches for Batman's throat. "Your mind is his playground," Tempus says. "He can rewrite you. He can break your vow with a thought. Why resist? Help us. Kill once, the right ones, and we freeze all pain." "He's not killing anyone," Cap growls. He slams into Tempus with full force. The impact pushes Tempus back, just enough for Batman to roll away. Strange opens a smaller portal, orange light slicing across Tempus's path. The time blade passes through the glowing circle. For a moment, part of it exists in another place. It recoils, shuddering. "Your power touches time," Strange says. "Mine does too. You are not untouchable, Tempter." Tempus laughs softly. "You are slow, wizard," he says. "I have seen your deaths 1,000 ways. I chose the one that hurts most." He splits. Now there are 3 versions of him, each slightly out of sync. 2 rush Strange, blades swinging. 1 goes for Batman again. Batman forces his breathing to slow. He pushes the pain down. He narrows his focus. He does not think about the ring screaming on his belt. He thinks about angles. Tempus is faster, but he is still a body in space. Still has weight. Still must move his blades through arcs. Batman throws 3 batarangs at where Tempus will be, not where he is. 2 miss. The third hits the joint of the right arm just as the blade swings. It knocks the arm a few inches off course. Instead of taking Batman's head, the sword slices his left side. Heat explodes along his ribs. He feels not just the cut of metal, but the cut of time. The moment when his skin was whole is pulled away. The wound feels older than it is, like a scar that has always been there. He stumbles. Blood clouds the water bubble. "Bruce!" Cap shouts again. He hurls his shield at Tempest's head. Tempest slips around it, but the shield returns and catches him from behind. For the first time, Tempest staggers. Strange uses that instant. He drives a spear of pure light into the water above Tempest. The water, held back by his spell, shudders and folds, creating a tight knot. Tempest is pushed into that knot, his movement slowed. "Now!" Strange cries. Batman moves through the pain. He lunges, grabs Tempest's wrist, and clamps a device onto the blade. "This bomb will erase 1 second," Batman says, voice harsh. "Exactly 1. For you." He pushes off and kicks away. The device flashes. For Tempest, 1 second vanishes. He is not there. When he returns, his body is half inside the water, half outside the bubble. The pressure crushes part of him. Armor dents. Bones break. He screams. Strange snaps his fingers, and the water knot closes again. Tempest falls back into the bubble, gasping. "You cannot kill me," he rasps. "Not without breaking your rule." "I don't have to," Batman says. "I just have to take your toy." He rips the damaged blade from Tempest's arm. The time sword flickers and collapses into a harmless metal rod, its core broken. Tempest laughs weakly. "You think you've won," he says. "But look at your side, Bat. That wound is not normal. It will not heal in a normal line. Every time you use your ring now, you will feel this cut. And every time you feel it, you will remember that sometimes, to end pain, you must do what you swore not to do." He taps his helmet. "Kang thanks you for the data," he says. Then he vanishes, blinking out of the bubble. Not teleported, not pulled. He simply steps into a different second and is gone. Batman clutches his side. The blood slows, then flows again in a strange, stuttering rhythm. Codex note: Tempest's blade carved a temporal scar into Batman's nervous system, making every surge of time energy from his ring echo as fresh pain, and letting Kang feel each use like a flare in the dark. "We need to blow that relay," Cap says. "Agreed," Strange replies. "But carefully. This much time energy going wild could crack the ocean." Batman, teeth clenched, pulls a device from his belt. "Set this to overload," he says. "Feed its surge back into my ring. I'll pull the relay's pulse into me and shut it down." "That will kill you," Strange says flatly. "It might," Batman says. "If we let it blow on its own, it kills millions on the coasts. I choose the smaller risk." Cap steps between them. "Wait," he says. "There has to be another way." Strange shakes his head. "Not with this amount of power," he says. "The relay is like a dam packed with water from 1,000 rivers. If it bursts, the flood hits every timeline nearby. His idea uses his ring as a pipe to drain it. But he is not a god. He is a man. His body will break." "Then we share it," Cap says. "He doesn't take it alone. We take part. We spread the pain." "No," Batman says. "I won't let someone else carry this." "Get used to it," Cap says. "Being on a team means you don't get to hoggle the sacrifice. That's selfish." It is a sharp word. Selfish. Batman hates it. But he knows Captain America is not wrong. "Fine," Batman says. "We do it together. Strange, can you split the flow?" "Yes," Strange says slowly. "Between 3 of us. Any more and I lose control." 3 then," Cap says. "You, me, and him." "Captain," Batman starts. "Shut up," Cap says gently. "We're doing this. You're not the only one allowed to hurt for others." Strange sets the spell. Lines of orange light wrap around the relay. Other lines wrap around Batman, Cap, and Strange. On 3, Strange says. 1, 2, 3. Batman presses the device to the relay's core. Everything goes white. The time energy slams into the spell, then splits. 1/3 into Strange, 1/3 into Cap, 1/3 into Batman. Strange feels his body fall through 100 possible poses. He sees futures where he dies young, old, corrupted, redeemed. He clings to the one where he stands here now and holds the spell. Cap feels every wound he ever took open again. His shield breaks and mends and breaks in a blur. He hears battle cries from wars he never fought. He keeps standing. Batman feels his scar explode. It is like Tempest is cutting him again and again. He feels Gothams that never were fall and rise. He feels his parents die in 1,000 alleys. He does not let go. The relay core cracks. Blue light turns red, then fades. The rings slow, then stop. The spearhead darkens. The time pulse goes silent. Strange drops to one knee, panting. Cap falls to a hand, sweat pouring down his face. Batman stays on his feet by pure will, hand pressed to his side. "What did we just do?" Cap asks. "We cut one of his roots," Strange says. "Kang will feel this. He will know he can lose. And he will be angry," Batman says. Strange looks at him. "And you," Strange says, "you took in part of his network. That scar in your side now holds a piece of his rhythm. If we are not careful, he can use it to whisper to you." "What would he say?" Batman asks. "What he already tried to say," Strange answers. "That you can save more if you break your rule." In Batman's mind, for a second, Kang's voice chuckles. "You see?" The time tyrant purrs. "You just risked 2 other lives without asking their consent. You spread your pain. How long until you spread your line?" Batman shuts his eyes. "No," he whispers in his head. "Get out." For a moment, the scar burns hotter. Then it cools. "I will watch that wound," Strange says, "and I will keep you honest." "And I will keep you human," Cap adds. The water bubble shudders. Outside, the ocean shifts. For a heartbeat, Batman sees something huge in the dark. An eye, maybe. A set of scales made of stars. Then it is gone. Strange frowns. "That was not Kang," he says. "That was someone else, something older. It saw us touch his root. It is watching." "Sacred authority?" Batman asks. "Something like that," Strange says carefully. "Not a god. Not in the way you think. A judge. This level of time war wakes bigger eyes." They step back through the portal. The Quinjet seals. The ocean falls away. When they reach the surface, the sky above is on fire. Not real fire. Time fire. Portals burn in the air over continents. Thor's lightning jumps between them. Hulk leaps from one falling machine to another, smashing. Black Widow leads lines of police and SHIELD agents, moving people out of blast zones. The fight is everywhere. But something is different. Without the relay, the machines stutter more. Their resets lag. For the first time, Hulk breaks one that does not come back at all. Fury's voice crackles over comms. "Whatever you did down there," he says, "it hurt them. Good. But there's more. Strange, Batcap. That thing you poked, it wants a word. Sorcerer, you and our bat friend have been invited to a higher court." Strange's eyes narrow. "Court?" he asks. "The big one," Fury says. "The one I don't like to think about. The cosmic judge, the living tribunal. It sent a message through old channels. It wants the outsider from another song to answer for what he has done and will do." Batman's jaw sets. "So I broke some rules," he says. "Now the judge wants to talk." "It's more than that," Strange says quietly. "You are now a fixed point in 2 universes and a bridge for a third. They need to decide if you are allowed to keep walking. And if they say no, Batman asks. Then they may erase you, Strange says, for the health of the whole. Cap looks at Batman. You don't have to go alone, he says. I doubt they'll let us all in, Strange says. But we can ask. Fury's voice is grim. Orders from the top, he says. Not me. Higher. Batman, you and a small escort will travel to the Tribunal's court. It will judge your place in this war, and maybe give you tools, or chains. Batman nods once. Then we go, he says. If this is the only way to keep fighting without tearing your world apart, I'll stand in front of whatever passes for your god. Strange looks up at the sky, where cosmic scales seem to shimmer just out of sight. This is not God, he whispers. This is law. The journey to the court begins on a ship that should not exist. It is not the helicarrier. It is a SHIELD deep space carrier, built in secret from alien scraps. It rises out of the ocean like a metal island, then points its nose at the stars and fires engines that glow blue-white. On its deck stand Batman, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Carol Danvers, also known as Captain Marvel. She arrived in a streak of light, eyes shining, hair floating in a glow. If we're going beyond the usual lanes, she said, you'll need someone who lives up there. Now she floats beside the ship, a guiding star. Inside, the halls hum with tension. In the medical bay, Banner runs scans on Batman's side. The wound is invisible on the outside, just a pale line now. Inside, his nerves twist around a knot of frozen time. When Tempest cut you, Banner says, studying the screen, he didn't just slice flesh. He locked one moment of pain into your body. It's like a loop. It replays every time your ring fires. So that's the cost, Batman says. Pain as a reminder. It's more than that, Banner says. Every replay sends a tiny ping into Kang's network. He can feel when you act. He can sniff your plans. Can we block it? Batman asks. Not fully, Banner says. We can muffle it. Tony built a dampener into your suit to hide some of the spikes. Strange can wrap a spell around the rest. But every big move you make in this war, he'll feel something. So every time I act to save people, Batman says, I risk giving him clues. That's the trade, Banner says. Doing nothing is not an option. Doing something feeds him. Welcome to my life. He smiles sadly. Gamma saved people, he says. Gamma created Hulk. Hulk saves people. Hulk hurts people. There's no clean path, just paths where you try to keep the hurt lower. Batman listens. Do you regret it? He asks. Becoming Hulk. Every day, Banner says. And also, no, because Hulk has saved worlds I could never touch. Regret and acceptance live in the same room in my head. It's crowded. He looks at Batman. You're afraid, Banner says. Not of pain. Of crossing your line. Of waking up one day and realizing you decided some lives didn't matter. Yes, Batman says. Good, Banner replies. Hold that fear. It's a guardrail. But let people stand on it with you. Don't carry it alone. That way lies other Hulks. In a quiet room nearby, Batman sits with Captain America. No armor, no shields, just two men. Before the ice, Cap says. I was small, sick, couldn't fight. I wanted power so I could stop bullies. Erskine, the scientist, picked me because of my heart, not my muscles. A strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that strength, he told me. A weak man knows the value of strength. And did you? Batman asks. I tried, Cap says. But after the war, after losing Bucky, Peggy, so many others, I started to wonder if it mattered, if the line I drew really changed things. Then I see someone like you who keeps fighting a city every night just to hold a line no one thanks him for. And I think, yeah, it matters to someone. Maybe to a kid who doesn't die in an alley. Batman looks away. I failed my parents, he says quietly. I was a child, but I still feel like I failed. You were a child, Cap repeats firmly. You didn't fail. The world failed you. You're trying to pay a bill that was never yours. That's noble. It's also a weight Kang will try to twist. He'll whisper that you can pay the whole bill with one big act, one kill, one broken rule. Batman says nothing. Cap places a hand on his shoulder. When that moment comes, Cap says, remember this, there is always another way. It may be worse, it may hurt more, but there is always another way. Your job is to look for it, even when it hurts. Is that your motto? Batman asks. Maybe, Cap says. Yours? Batman thinks. No one else falls, he says. I try to make that true, even if it breaks me. Then let us break together, Cap says. Not alone. In another corner, Strange and Thor stand by a window that looks out into space. Stars stretch in all directions. The earth shrinks behind them. You are sure the Tribunal called us? Thor asks. I have heard of this being in old Asgardian tales. The judge of all things. Even my father feared it. I am sure, Strange says. It sent a sign through the higher layers of reality. A tremor in the spells I use to keep dimensions apart. It knocked. Gods do not usually knock, Thor says. This is not a god, Strange replies. This is balance. It steps in when scales tip too far. Kang tipped them. Batman's jump tipped them more. Now the balance wants to see the piece that does not belong. Thor looks at the stars. What will it do? He asks. Judge, Strange says. Offer paths. It rarely acts by force, but when it does, universes die. Cheerful, Thor mutters. The ship shudders. Ahead, space bends. A huge shape appears. A vast ring made of stone and gold, floating in the void. Inside the ring, a door of pure light opens. The court, Strange says. Everyone, to the deck. The heroes gather. Batman, Cap, Strange, Thor, and Captain Marvel stand at the bow. The carrier drifts to a halt. From the light door, a figure steps. It is tall and silver, with a smooth surfboard under its feet. The Silver Surfer, former herald of a world eater, now servant of higher balance. Champion of another world, the surfer says to Batman, his voice like a calm tide. The one who judges would see you, and those who stand with you, come. How many of us can pass? Strange asks. 5, the surfer says. More would shake too many threads. They look at each other. Batman goes, Cap says. Strange as guide. I go as witness. Thor for strength. Carol, in case things go bright. Agreed, Strange says. Thor grips his hammer. Let's meet your judge, he says. They step onto a platform of light that forms under their feet. The surfer glides ahead, pulling them toward the door. As they pass through, everything changes. There is no up or down, no stars, only a vast hall made of concepts, steps of light that feel like duty, columns that hum like laws, a ceiling that is not there, only a sense of something looking down. At the far end, hanging in the air, is a giant figure. Its body is a robed shape taller than mountains. It has 3 faces all on one head. One face is calm, one is veiled, one is angry. When it speaks, all 3 mouths move as one. Outsider, the living tribunal says, you have been called. Batman feels its voice in his bones. It is not sound, it is command. He steps forward, head high. I am Batman of Gotham, he says. I came here by choice. My jump cracked the wall between worlds. That is on me. I will answer. The Tribunal's veiled face tilts. You are an anomaly, it says. You do not possess powers like the gods beside you. Yet you wound the walls between realities. Explain. In my world, Batman says, I saw a crack in the sky. A threat my tools could not explain. If I did nothing, my city died. I built a way to move through it. I jumped first. I carried the stress into myself. I hoped that would save others. I did not think about your laws, only about saving people. You did not seek power, the calm face says. You sought sacrifice. This weighs in your favor. But your act has drawn a predator, the angry face says. Kang now uses your bridge. His roots sink into two worlds. This weighs against you. Strange steps up beside Batman. He did not know Kang would use it, Strange says. He is now helping us cut those roots. Without him, we would not have reached the relay. And yet, the veiled face says, his presence stresses the fabric. His ring hums against the loom. He cannot stay forever. He must be given boundaries or erased. Thor grips his hammer tighter. You speak of erasing a man who stands for his world, Thor says, who saves children in streets without gods to guard them. That seems unjust. Justice is not kindness, the angry face says. It is balance. Captain America steps forward. Then balance this, he says, voice steady. Kang wants to turn worlds into trophies. Batman fights to keep people free, even from safe cages. Without him, we lose a mind that can match Kang on the ground. You are a judge. Fine. Judge him by everything he is, not just the cracks around him. You argue for him, the calm face says. Why? Because I know soldiers who hide behind orders, Cap says. And I know ones who bend orders to save lives. Batman is the second kind. He has a rule, no killing. He holds to it even when it hurts. You need someone like that in this war. Someone who will not use your name to excuse murder. The Tribunal is silent for a long heartbeat. Then it turns all three faces to Batman. Kang will offer you paths, it says. Simple numbers. Kill one, save many. Kill many, save endless worlds. You will be tempted. We see lines where you break. In those lines you become a dark anchor, a second Kang who wears a bat. Batman feels cold. He can almost see it. A version of himself in darker armor. No rule. Perfect efficiency. Complete control. I won't become that, he says. Words are light, the veiled face says. Choices await. You will prove this. How? Batman asks. The Tribunal raises a hand. Light gathers at its finger, then drops toward Batman like a slow falling star. It stops just above his ring. The light turns into a small-scale symbol on the metal. We change your anchor, the calm face says. From this moment, you can channel limited time energy through it. Twist paths, make small corrections, stretch seconds in battle. This will help you fight Kang on his field. Batman feels the ring hum. He senses new options, seconds that can stretch just enough to move a child out of harm's way. Moments he can rewind by a heartbeat to catch a bullet with a gauntlet instead of a chest. But there is a cost, the angry face says. Each use cuts deeper into your temporal scar. The pain will grow, your life will shorten, and the more you use it, the more Kang can feel you. And there are rules, the veiled face adds. You may not use this power to change your own past. You may not use it to undo death. You may not cross back into your world without our leave. Break these, and you become a leak. Leaks are patched. Batman nods slowly. I accept, he says, on one condition. The hall seems to tense. Immortal sets terms. The angry face says. Yes, Batman says. You call this balance. Fine. Then balance the scales both ways. If you give me a new tool that hurts me each time, you also give Kang limits. rules he must follow when dealing with me. The faces exchange a silent, arguing look. What limit? The calm face asks. When he touches my mind, Batman says. He cannot rewrite it. He can show me options. He can tempt, but he cannot force my choice. My will stays my own, and he cannot freeze my Gotham under glass without breaking your law. The Tribunal considers. Your will is already yours, the veiled face says. We do not let titans write minds, but we can bind him from freezing worlds without cost. Done, the calm face says. From this moment, if Kang seeks to freeze a world as a trophy, he must put his own core into it. He must stand in his citadel with no exit. If he falls there, his hold on that world ends. Batman stares. You just made him touch the board, he says. He can't stay outside the game forever. Balance, the angry face says. A predator who never risks its own blood is not challenged. This is now law. Strange bows his head. Thank you, he says, for not erasing him. Do not thank us, the Tribunal says. We have not chosen his fate, only his conditions. His path still holds 3 endings. He returns home, and we forget him. He stays as a free agent, and your world splits. Or he accepts service under your laws and ours. Batman hears the echo of that. 3 paths. He knows this is not the last time he will stand in front of this judge. The surfer glides forward. The court has spoken, he says. You may go. The war below still burns. Before they leave, the Tribunal speaks one more time. Remember, outsider, it says, every use of your new power shortens your line. Every refusal to use it has a price in blood. There is no clean road. Only roads you walk with open eyes. Batman nods. I've never had a clean road, he says. I'll take the one where people get to choose. Power scaling, interlude 2. Your ring can now stretch time in small ways, Strange explains, as they walk back toward the light door. You can slow a falling building enough for people to escape, or rewind a few heartbeats of a single fight. Each use will burn through your scar, Banner's voice says over the comm, relaying from the ship's instruments. Think of it as spending years of your life in seconds. Spend too much and you die early. Kang will feel every big use as a tug, Tony adds later, when they link back up. But thanks to the Tribunal, he can't respond from total safety. If he wants to lock a world under glass, he has to walk into his own trap. You also cannot go home whenever you want, Strange says quietly to Batman. Leaving this universe now requires the court's okay. You are, in a way, on parole. And you still can't change your own past, Cap reminds him. No saving your parents. No erasing the alley. That pain stays. So do the people you've saved since. The light platform carries them back to the ship. Behind them, the court fades. Ahead, through the viewports, they see Earth again. Portals still burn over cities. Kang's machines still drop. The war has not paused for judgment. On the journey back, the ship enters a strange fog. Not real fog. A shimmer in space. Strange's eyes snap open. This is wrong, he says. We are not alone. The fog thickens. Shapes form. Rooftops. Gargoyles. A city that looks like Gotham, but higher, darker, and full of blue clock light. And on one of those rooftops stands a figure in armor like Batman's, but different. He wears a bat symbol made of 3 clock hands. His cape is torn. His eyes glow pale blue. I am the final knight, the figure says. The Batman who took Kang's deal. I froze my Gotham. I ended crime. I saved everyone. You will too, sooner or later. Mirror Foe B has arrived. The final knight stands on the rooftop that should not be. The false Gotham hangs in space like a broken toy. Its towers rise out of mist that glows with blue clock light. Cars float frozen in mid-air. Rain falls in slow motion and never hits the ground. Only Batman, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Captain Marvel can move freely here. The Silver Surfer floats at the edge of the scene, silent witness. "You froze your city," Batman says. "I saved it," the Final Night answers. "No more muggings, no more alleys, no more funerals. Gotham, held at its last good second. Perfect, end of pain." His voice is Batman's voice, but colder. "You took Kang's deal," Strange says. "You stopped time to end crime." "I used his gift," the Final Night says. "I chose the smart path, the clean path. I killed once. I broke the no-kill rule you cling to. Then I used his anchors to freeze my Gotham. It took one ugly act, one choice. Now my children do not die in streets." "You murdered your city," Thor growls. "You locked every soul in a glass prison." "They do not suffer," the Final Night snaps. "They do not age. They do not fear. They are safe." "Safe is not alive," Captain Marvel says. Final Night ignores her. He steps closer to Batman. "You know what Gotham is," he said. "A wound that never closes, a test that never ends. You think you are passing that test. Kang showed me the truth. In most lines you fail. You die. The city burns. Or you live, and it still burns. In this one I won. So will you, if you listen." Batman studies him. The armor is like his, but built for war. Thicker plates, sharp edges. 3 clock hands form the bat symbol, ticking in slow circles on the chest. "You're not my future," Batman says. "You're a warning." "I am your best self," the Final Night replies. "Look." The world shifts. They stand on a normal Gotham street. Children laugh. A family leaves a movie theater. Police cars drive past, but no sirens wail. "This is your dream," the Final Night says. "A Gotham that does not need Batman. No criminals, no Joker, no Bane, no Arkham, no Graves." Batman takes a step forward. For a moment, he feels something twist inside him. He wants this. He has always wanted this. Then he looks closer. The children laugh in the same pattern, over and over. The mother checks her watch at the same second again and again. A leaf falls, hits the ground, jumps back to the branch, falls again. "It's a loop," Batman says. 1 second of peace, stretched forever. "Yes," the Final Night says. "No more bad seconds." "No more new seconds," Batman says. He turns and faces his mirror. "You stole their future," he says. "You stole their choices, their growth, their pain, their joy. You made them dolls so you could stop being scared." The Final Night's eyes flash. "You're the one who is scared," he says. "You are terrified that your rule will fail, that one night you will slip, that you will kill by accident, that you will cross the line and like it, that all your planning is a lie. Kang's path fixes that. One big sin, a clean ledger." "I'm not looking for a clean ledger," Batman says. "I'm looking for people who are alive enough to make a mess." Final Night's hand closes on the hilt of his own time sword. It looks like Tempest's blade, but sharper, built into the gauntlet. "You stand in my realm," he says. "You are inside Kang's echo. Here, he lets me edit. I could cut that fear out of you. I could strip the guilt. You would be free. No more pain when you fail. No more weight, just pure efficiency." "Efficiency is not justice," Batman says. "Then let me show you math," the Final Night answers. The fake Gotham trembles. Now they stand above New York. Portals hang in the air. Machines fall. People scream on the streets. "This is your current war," the Final Night says. In 9 out of 10 lines, you hesitate. You try to save everyone. You refuse to kill Kang when you have the chance because he is unarmed or because a child might die in the blast. Hundreds of thousands die instead. Images flash, collapsed towers, cities turn to glass, Earth under a blue grid with Kang's symbol. In one line, the final night says, "You break your rule. You use the Tribunal's gift to stretch time, move a child out of the blast, and kill Kang when he is weak. You save billions. You lose your vow. Which line will you pick?" Batman's jaw clenches. "I haven't made that choice yet," he says. "But you will," the final night says. "Right now, you still believe in a third way. A path where you save everyone and never break. That path is a lie. I lived long enough to see that." He lifts his sword. "Let me end the doubt for you," he says. "Fight me. If you win, you keep your fear and your pain. You go back and try your hopeless path. If I win, I cut away your weakness and you become me. Gotham under glass, Earth saved, Kang satisfied. Balance kept, clean math." Thor steps forward. "You will not touch him," he says. The final night flicks a hand. Time around Thor slows. The Asgardian swing crawls through the air. "Stay out of this," the final night says. "This is between me and myself." Strange raises a spell. It sputters and dies. "The fog is thick with Kang's mark," he says. "This whole space is a trap. If we fight too long, we lose time in the real war." Captain America looks at Batman. "You don't have to prove anything to him," Cap says. "Maybe I do," Batman says quietly. "Maybe I have to prove something to myself." He steps forward. His hand drops to his belt. The ring burns, the Tribunal's scale symbol glowing. He feels the new power waiting. He could stretch this second. He could speed himself up. He could slow Final Night down. He does not touch it. "Come on then," Batman says. "Let's see who I really am." They collide. Final Night is faster. He uses time in tiny cuts. A dodged punch that happens a half-second early. A block that lands before Batman even moves. A strike from an angle that wasn't there before. Batman takes hits. His side flares with Tempest's old wound. Each time the Final Night touches him, the scar screams. "You cannot win fair," the Final Night says. "You built a bridge between worlds. You cracked the sky. You stand in a time tyrant's trap. This is not a rooftop brawl. Use your gift. Cheat like the rest of us." Batman staggers. He tastes blood. He hears the Tribunal's voice in his memory. "Every use of your new power shortens your line. Every refusal has a price in blood." Out of the corner of his eye, he sees New York in the distance. Portals widening, machines pouring through. Time is moving out there while they fight in here. "Bruce," Cap calls. "We need you out there. Don't waste yourself on a ghost." "I am not a ghost," the Final Night says. "I am the only version that won." He swings for Batman's throat. Batman drops back. This time, he reaches for the ring. He does not pull hard. He nudges. For him, the next second stretches. Not much, just enough. He shifts his weight. He sees the angle of the blade. He ducks under it and drives a punch into the Final Night's chest. Pain explodes in Batman's side as the scar burns. The Final Night flies back, cloak snapping. "Good," the Final Night says, laughing. "You used it. How did it feel?" "Like cheating death," Batman says, "and paying for it." He looks at his mirror. "We are not the same," he says. "You used this power to stop time, to freeze people, to make a cage. I will only use it to keep people moving, to keep choices alive, to give others a chance to act. That is the difference. You gave up on them. I won't." The fog shudders. A deep voice rolls through the full sky. "Reach the throne." The Tribunal's command. The Final Night looks up, annoyed. "Court, rules," he says. "They don't want you stuck here long." My job was to test you, to cut away your illusions. It seems you still cling to them. He steps back. The fake Gotham cracks. You will break, he says. So will your world. I'll be waiting in the lines where you fail. He points his sword at Batman one last time. When you finally kill to save the many, he says, remember me. Then he vanishes. The fog rips open. The heroes stand on the deck of the ship again, hearts pounding. Outside the viewports, space is full of something new. Chronopolis has come to them. It hangs near Earth like a twisted crown of towers and rings. Pieces of old cities float around it, stitched together with blue energy. Clock faces spin on every wall. Ships shaped like blades slide in and out of its sides. Wow, Captain Marvel says. That's ugly. Strange grips the rail. He is committed, he says. The Tribunal's rule forced him to step onto the board. His core is in that city now. His throne is a lock. If we break it, we break his hold on this world. Then we reach the throne, Batman says. Fast. The ship's alarms blare. Fury's voice crackles in. Earth to space cowboys, he says. Kang dropped his house on our doorstep. Portals are going crazy. Avengers are holding lines, but we can't do this forever. I need that throne hit. On it, Cap says. We'll take a small team into Chronopolis. Everyone else keeps the skies clear. Copy that, Fury says. Don't die. The war splits. Thor, Hulk, Carol, and many other heroes hurl themselves at the outer rings of Chronopolis. They smash ships. They shatter towers. They draw fire away from Earth. Batman, Cap, Strange, Black Widow, and Spider-Man take a stealth transport into the shadow of the main tower. Iron Man flies escort, blasting any turret that looks at them. As they move in, Batman feels the ring hum. The Tribunal scale symbol glows faintly. Strange glances at him. Something is coming, he says. Batman nods. He knows what. The court's last step. The supreme authority does not appear as a giant figure this time. It appears inside Batman's mind. Time slows. His team's voices fade to a hum. The world around him turns grey, edges soft. Only 3 images stay sharp. 3 paths. In the first, he stands in the Batcave. His ring is dark. The Tribunal scale is gone. Gotham's crack in the sky has closed. Alfred is older, smiling. You came home, Alfred says. You saved who you could. You let this world fight its own battles. New York is damaged. Some heroes are dead. But the Marvel Universe heals. Without him. Over time, his memories of this war fade. He dreams of a strange tower sometimes, of men and women in bright suits. He wakes with tears he cannot explain. In the second path, he stands on a rooftop in New York. Below, the Avengers fight among themselves. Some follow Fury. Some follow Strange. Some follow him. Batman wears armor marked with both a bat and an A. He acts alone, outside law. He saves many people. He also starts fractures. Some governments build their own vigilantes in response. Civil wars start in the shadows. Kang is gone, but the world is full of Batman echoes, each with their own rules. In the third path, he stands in a hall much like the Tribunal's court, but smaller. He kneels. Strange stands beside him. Fury stands on the other side. Behind them, Cap rests his hand on Batman's shoulder. You will serve as a sanctioned agent, Strange says in this vision. Bound by our laws and the courts. You will keep your no-kill rule. You will limit your time power to defense and rescue. You will move between worlds only when asked. You will answer to us when your methods cross lines. In this path, Gotham still suffers. He visits sometimes, when allowed. He cannot fix everything, but crime is lower. Jokers rise and fall. Children still fall in alleys sometimes. but not as often. In New York, his presence changes the way heroes plan. They become more careful with civilians, more patient, more willing to look for third options. It is not perfect. No path is. The vision fades. The Tribunal's voice is soft but firm. 3 roads, it says. Return, free agent, sanctioned servant, choose. Batman stands in the grey space of his mind. He weighs each path. Return means peace for himself and less strain on reality. It also means leaving this world to face Kang's kind alone. Free agent means power. He could do much good. He could also do much harm. Civil wars. Governments panicking. Fear spreading. Sanctioned servant means chains. Rules. People telling him no. A shortened life. Burned bit by the ring. But also partnership. Guardrails. Shared burden. He thinks of Alfred's face. He thinks of the little boy in the Captain America shirt on the New York street. The one who whispered, "Is that Batman?" with hope. He thinks of his parents. He thinks of every child he ever pulled away from a gun. He thinks of Kang, sitting in his tower with the whole universe as a board. He thinks of the final night. "That's the path where I become you," he says quietly, to the echo in his head. "The one where I answer to no one." He looks toward the second path. "I won't be you," he says. He turns to the first. He imagines stepping away, letting these heroes handle their own wars, saving Gotham and never again feeling time burn in his bones. He wants it. He also knows something. If he was the man who would take that path, he would never have built the dimensional bridge. He would have stayed home the first time. He turns to the third path. Sanctioned, watched, bound, still fighting, still choosing. It is not clean, it is not perfect. It is the one that keeps both worlds safest. It is also the path that scares him most, because it means trusting others with his mission. He nods. "I choose service," he says, "on my terms and yours. I become your sanctioned servant. I keep my rules. You keep me honest. We fight together." The grey fades. Sound rushes back. The transport shakes as it moves into Chronopolis' shadow. "Bruce," Cap asks, "you with us?" "Yeah," Batman says. "Just got the final exam." "Pass?" Spider-Man asks. "We'll see," Batman answers. His ring glows bright for a second. Then it settles. In that glow, something changes on his chest. The bat symbol on his armor shifts. A thin circle forms around it, with a stylized A shape behind the wings. At the top of the circle, tiny scales hang. Bat and Avenger and Tribunal law fused. Strange sees it and nods. "The court has accepted you," he says, "and bound you." Iron Man's voice comes in over comms. "Nice logo update," Tony says. "New brand deal I should know about?" "Later," Batman says. "Right now we reach the throne." The transport docks on a hidden platform. They step into Chronopolis. It feels wrong. The air tastes like stale metal and old clocks. The floor is made of pieces of different streets from different ages. A Roman road meets a modern highway. A dirt path from some lost world runs between them. Above, towers rise, each covered in doors that open onto different times. Kang's robots march along them. Some are the time-healing models from New York. Some are bigger, shaped like walking fortresses. Others look like soldiers from 100 eras wearing the same blue-purple armor. "Stick to the path," Strange says. "This place wants to pull us into side stories. We don't have time." Spider-Man looks around, wide-eyed. "This is like every time travel gone wrong movie mashed together," he mutters. Black Widow maps their route in her head. "Throne room will be central, high and well guarded," she says. "We need a straight lineup, minimal noise, hit hard at the end. We won't stay quiet long, Batman says, so we make each loud moment count. They move. At the first intersection, a squad of time robots appears. Their cores flicker, still unstable without the ocean relay. Batman feels his ring hum. He could stretch time here, slow the robots, speed his team. He does not. He watches their steps. He counts the beats between core flickers. He throws bat bombs at the exact moment the cores reset. The bombs go off in sync, sending a pulse that knocks the cores out of phase. Iron Man blasts them from above. The robots fall and do not get up. Batman's side burns. The scar is reacting to the nearby time flow. He grits his teeth and keeps moving, higher, deeper. At a bend, Kang himself appears. Not in a screen this time, in person. He stands at the end of a long hall lined with clocks. His armor is more ornate now, with long cables running from his back into the walls. He is plugged into his city. Welcome, Kang says. You did well to reach this. Far. Not many do. Get out of the hall, Strange says softly. He can collapse it with a thought. They spread out. Cap in the center. Batman a bit forward. Widow to one side. Spider-Man clinging to the ceiling. Strange covering the rear. Careful, Cap says. He wants us to rush. Kang tilts his head at Batman. The court favored you, he says. Interesting. It thinks you can balance my weight. It is wrong. You will either join me or break. You're scared, Batman says. Kang laughs. I am outside fear, he says. I have seen more death than there are seconds in your life. You still came down here, Batman says. You used to sit outside the story. Now you sit in a tower where we can punch you. The Tribunal forced that. It scares you, even if you are too proud to feel it. Kang's eyes flash behind his mask. Pride is all I have left, he says. And knowledge, and you, the sharp thorn in my thumb. He flicks his hand. The hall splits into 3 paths. In one, Batman sees Gotham under glass and Kang smiling. In another, he sees New York burning and himself standing over Kang's corpse, blood on his hands. In the third, he sees himself bound in chains, worlds in balance, people alive but suffering. Pick a hall, Kang says. Pick a future. I've seen them all. Batman weighs them for one breath. Then he reaches for his ring. Pain hits as the scar flares. He pulls anyway. Time stretches for him alone. He looks closely at the 3 halls. In slow time, he sees tiny details. In the glass, Gotham Hall, Kang's cables run thick. In the burning New York Hall, the cables are thinner, but his mask is cracked. In the chain hall, there are no cables, only a simple throne and a man standing before it. No, not a man. A symbol, a place where someone could stand. He lets time snap back. He walks straight ahead, ignoring all 3. Instead, he throws bat lines into the ceiling, grabs the team, and yanks them up. They punch through a thin spot above the center of the split, landing in a 4th space between halls. Kang's eyes widen. You, he starts. Strange slams a spell across the gap, sealing it behind them. Nice trick, Spider-Man whispers. You went off the rails. I'm done letting him write the choices, Batman says. We make our own path. They are in the heart of the tower now, the throne room. It is a wide chamber with a floor of glass, showing 1,000 timelines below. In the center stands a throne made of broken pieces of other thrones. Iron, gold, stone, alien metal, all welded together. Kang sits on it. Cables run from the throne into his armor and out into the city. Above him, a clock with no numbers spins. Every time it ticks, a timeline below changes. This is it, Black Widow says quietly. This is where we either win or everyone we know becomes a museum piece. The throne room defenses wake up. Robots drop from the ceiling. Time shields ripple around the walls. Temporal storms crackle near the floor. The Avengers outside feel it too. Thor hurls lightning that hits the outer shell. Hulk smashes an anchor pillar. Carol blasts a ship trying to escape. Inside, the small team dives into the fight. Strange blocks the first storm with a spell shield. Spider-Man webs 2 robots together and swings them into a third. Cap bashes a time shield with his battered shield, testing its strength. Black Widow plants charges at key joints in the floor. Batman feels the ring hum hard. His scar screams. Kang lifts a hand. "Let us test your new leash," Kang says. He pulls. Time grabs Batman. He's yanked into a slice where only he and Kang exist. The others move in slow blur. "You could end this, you know," Kang says calmly. "Kill me, destroy the throne, shatter Chronopolis. Your court would forgive one death to save 2 worlds. It has in other lines." "I won't kill you," Batman says. "You will," Kang says. "If you do not, the tower holds. The city burns. Your Gotham cracks again. I have seen it. I have lived it. In the lines where you keep your vow, you fail." Batman breathes through the pain. "You are good with numbers," he says, "but you miscount something." "Oh?" Kang asks. "Other minds," Batman says. "Other choices, other angles. You think you know every move because you've watched so many games, but you never played with me on a team." He pulls on the ring. Time stretches again, but this time he shares it. He does not keep it for himself. He pushes the stretch through the floor, into the air, into the cables. For a heartbeat, everyone in the room moves in the same stretched second. Cap sees the angle of a robot's weapon. He shifts his shield to catch a blast that would have hit Widow. Widow sees a storm forming under Strange's boots. She shoves him out of it. Spider-Man sees a crack in the throne's base. He slings a web line there and marks it. Strange sees symbols in the spinning clock above Kang. He memorizes a pattern. Batman sees all of it. He lets time snap back. The ring burns like fire. His heart stutters. He drops to one knee. Kang frowns. "What did you do?" he demands. "I gave my team what you hoard," Batman says through clenched teeth. "A chance to see, a second to choose. You use time to control people. I use it to free them." Kang snarls. He rises from the throne. "You think that changes the outcome?" he says. "You are still one man. I am history." He raises both hands. The glass floor flares. Timelines below surge up, trying to grab the heroes and drag them into other ages. Strange shouts words of power. His spells weave a narrow corridor of safe ground. "Move," he yells. They sprint. Robots close in from the sides. Widow's charges go off, blowing holes in the ranks. Spider-Man swings across a gap, grabs Batman with a web, and hurls him toward the throne. Cap follows, shield first. Kang meets them with a blast of pure time. The shield takes the hit. For a second, it is old and cracked. Then it is new again. Then it is half melted. Cap's arm trembles. He's trying to erase moments when it was whole. Cap grunts. "Pick one, you coward." Batman throws another batarang. This one is different. Tony built it on the way here using stolen Kang tech. It hums with a pattern Strange gave him. It hits one of the cables on the throne. The cable spasms. Energy jumps. For a moment, Kang is jammed between times. Strange sees his opening. He hurls a spell straight at the clock above the throne. The spell hits the exact symbols he memorized in the stretched second. The clock cracks. The whole room shakes. Outside, Chronopolis flares. Parts of it wink out of existence. Others fall toward Earth as harmless debris. Inside, the throne's cables snap one by one. Kang screams. "You think this matters?" he shouts. "I have backups. I have variants. I am forever." The Tribunal's scales on Batman's ring glow. Its voice whispers in Kang's own mind. You are here. You are bound. If you lose this throne, you lose this world. Kang freezes. For the first time, real fear crosses his face. He realizes the rule is real. I am contained, he whispers. Welcome to the board, Batman says. Kang lunges. He pulls a blade of pure time from his own chest. He drives it toward Batman's heart. Batman does not dodge. He cannot. He is too slow, too tired. His scar is on fire. Cap sees it. He throws his shield. The shield cannot stop the blade, but it can nudge it. The edge slides off its path. Instead of Batman's heart, it hits the ring. There is a sound like every bell in every clock tower breaking at once. The ring explodes, not outward, inward. It collapses into a tiny point of white, then bursts into a wave of red and gold. Time surges through Batman, Kang, the throne, the room. For a heartbeat, they both are stretched across many lines. In some, Batman dies here. In some, Kang does. In some, they both do. Batman has one thought. He does not think of killing. He does not think of winning. He thinks of people. He thinks of children on streets, workers on bridges, mothers in hospitals, teams of heroes in the sky. He pushes that thought into the wave. The Tribunal's scales flare. The wave chooses. It slams into the throne and the cables. It tears Kang's anchor out of this world. It also tears Batman's anchor out of every world. Chronopolis begins to fall apart. Kang stumbles, coughing. His armor flickers. He is still alive. The blade is still in his hand. He stares at Batman. You had a chance, Kang rasps. One push, one kill. You could have ended me. Instead, you broke your own tool. You gained nothing. Batman is shaking. His scar has gone cold. The ring is gone. He can no longer feel the extra seconds. We gained enough, he says. He gestures around. The glass floor shows only one line now, their own. Chronopolis is no longer a hub, just a dying fortress. You can't reset this line anymore, Batman says. You can't rewind your losses here. This world is free of your hand. You can still hurt it, but you can't script it. Kang screams in rage. He raises the blade to strike again. A hammer slams into him from behind. Thor crashes through the wall, cape full of lightning. Sorry I'm late, Thor says. Traffic was a nightmare. Hulk's fist punches through another section of wall and grabs the throne. He rips it out of the floor. Chronopolis shakes. Captain Marvel blasts in through the ceiling, energy blazing. She hits Kang with a beam that sends him flying. He crashes into the cracked clock above and falls to the floor, armor smoking. He is alive, barely. He looks at Batman. Finish it, Kang gasps, or I will come back. Maybe not here, maybe not now, but somewhere, somewhen. Kill me, and at least this version stops. Batman walks toward him. The others watch. Strange's brow furrows. Cap's jaw is tight. Widow's eyes are hard. They all know this choice. It would be easy, Kang says. One act, one line crossed. Billions saved from me in any future I touch. Batman kneels by him. He looks at the broken armor, the beaten face, the man who thought he was above choice. You are not a god, Batman says quietly. You are a man who hid from risk. Now you've lost your shelter. You will face the laws you tried to stand above. He looks at Strange. Can you bind him? He asks. Hold this version in a cell he can't edit. With help, Strange says. Wong, the Tribunal's mark, some Stark tech. Yes, we can cage him. It will take effort, but we can. Then that's what we do, Batman says. Kang laughs weakly. You think prison holds someone like me? He asks. It holds men like me, Batman says. It can hold you too. And even if you escape one day, we'll be here. not as pieces on your board, as players. He stands. He turns his back on Kang. His side aches. His head pounds. He feels older. He also feels steady. Cap steps beside him. You stayed on your line, Cap says. I didn't kill him, Batman says. I did break something else. He looks at his empty belt slot. No more ring, he says. No more time cheats, Tony says over comms. You're back to pure human. Well, human plus trauma and too much training. Batman nods. I can live with that, he says. Chronopolis groans. It's coming apart, Spider-Man says. Time to leave before we end up as weird wall art. They run. Strange opens a huge portal. Heroes pour through. Thor drags the half-broken throne with him. Hulk carries Kang like a sack of anger. The tower folds behind them, collapsing into a stream of useless fragments that burn up in Earth's upper air. They spill out over New York. The portals in the sky flicker and close. Kang's machines freeze, then shut down. The air smells like rain and ozone. Sirens wail. People look up from rubble and see the heroes standing on a floating platform of magic. They also see Batman. His cape is torn. His armor is cracked. His symbol is new. A bat in a circle with an A and tiny scales. A child points. There, she says. The Batman again. The one from before, with the shield people. Her father pulls her close, tears in his eyes. He helped save us, he says. Remember that. Down on the street, SHIELD teams move out. Medics run. Fury stands on a ruined car, looking up. Good work, he says over the comms. Chronopolis is gone. Kang is in chains. Portals are closing. Now we need to talk about you, Bat. Batman steps down onto a rooftop away from the crowd. Strange, Cap, Tony, Widow, Spider-Man, Thor, Banner, and Fury join him. The city burns in small patches around them. Sunlight struggles through smoke. Time for the boundaries, Strange says. Batman nods. I chose the sanctioned path, he says. I don't know if you heard. We did, Cap says. The court spoke to all of us in its own way. It trusts you, under rules. Rules we have to spell out, Fury says. So we're all on the same page. Let's make it simple, Batman says. I will help defend this world when you call. I will not kill. I will not use fear against innocence. I will not use any time-based power I might gain again to change the past or undo death. I will not act as executioner. You also will not act alone on global scale, Strange adds. World-scale actions, like building new bridges between universes or stealing cosmic artifacts, must go through us. Me, Fury, and this man. He nods at Cap. The three of us will act as your counsel. Tony raises a hand. And me, he says. Someone has to handle the tech side. No offense, but your cave Wi-Fi sucks. Batman almost smiles. Fine. You four. On our side, Fury says, we promise not to use you as a weapon of fear. No black ops where you scare people into obedience. No using your symbol to push bad laws. You are not my attack dog. You are a partner. On my side, Cap says, I promise to call you out if you start slipping. If pain makes you hard. If the line fades, I will pull you back or stand in your way. On mine, Strange says, I promise to keep other dimensions from reaching through you. Your days of being a crack in the wall are over. You are shielded now, not just bound. And I, Spider-Man says, promise to make sure no one forgets you're human, not a myth, a guy who needs sleep and like actual meals. Thor nods. And I will drink with you, he says solemnly, when this is over. That is also important. Black Widow smiles a little. And I'll teach your sidekicks not to get themselves killed if they ever visit, she says. Banner adjusts his glasses. I'll keep an eye on that scar, he says. Even with the ring gone, you went through a lot. Time leaves marks. I can't fix them, but I can help you live with them. Batman listens. These are chains. They are also something else. Hands held out. We should put this in writing, Tony says. Avengers Charter, section whatever. Sanctioned outsider protocol. Already drafting it, Fury says. Codex note. Under the new sanctioned outsider protocol, Batman operates as a cross-universe agent bound by both Avengers Charter law and the Tribunal's cosmic rules, with a fixed no-kill code and oversight from Fury, Strange, Rogers, and Stark. Batman looks out over New York. Gotham, he asked quietly. Strange closes his eyes. The crack above it is closed, he says. The stress that once focused there is now spread. Your jump, the relay, the throne, all balanced out. Your city is still rough, still dark, but it is no longer a weak point in the wall. So I can go back, Batman says. Sometimes. Yes, Strange says, with permission. Short visits at first. The court will watch. So will I. Batman nods. That's enough, he says. Cap looks at him. What's your motto now? Cap asks. After all this, still no one else falls, Batman thinks. He looks at the broken streets. He looks at the people being pulled from rubble. He looks at the heroes around him, all bruised and breathing. We don't fall alone, he says. That's the new one. If we go down together, and we get back up. Cap smiles. I like that, he says. Fury sighs. Good, he says, because the world is already freaking out about the giant clock city that almost smashed them. Press wants answers. Governments want assurances. Villains are probably taking notes. Tony grins tiredly. Welcome to Marvel, he says to Batman. Big fight, big feelings, then paperwork. Batman's lips twitch. I've seen worse, he says. We had whole weeks of paperwork in Gotham after Bane. Speaking of Gotham, Spider-Man says, if you ever need a friendly neighborhood guy to swing by, maybe don't. Your neighborhoods are terrifying. Batman actually laughs, dry and short. I'll keep that in mind, he says. They stand together a moment longer, then they break. Some go to help clear rubble. Some go to stabilize Kang's cell. Some go to speak to cameras. Batman steps into a portal. Strange opens, heading for a brief visit home. The bat and the A and the scales on his chest glint in the fading light. Epilogue. Weeks later, Gotham's night smells like rain and old brick. Batman stands on a gargoyle overlooking Crime Alley. The sky is clear. No cracks, no strange portals, just stars. He knows now that somewhere beyond those stars, the Tribunal still watches. Kang sits in a cell woven from magic and tech. Chronopolis is dust in the upper air. His ring is gone. He feels the scar, in his side only as a faint ache when the wind changes. Below, a mugger pulls a knife on a woman walking home. Batman drops. He moves with no time tricks, no cosmic gifts, just training, just will. He disarms the mugger, ties him up, checks the woman's pulse, and melts back into the dark. Later, in the cave, he hangs up his damaged armor. The new symbol glows softly. Alfred sets a cup of tea by him. You went very far, Alfred says, and came back. Yes, Batman says. Did you find the answers you were looking for? Alfred asks. Batman thinks. No, he says, but I found better questions and people to ask them with. Alfred smiles. That will do, he says. On a screen nearby, news from New York plays. Children wear cheap plastic bat masks with little Avengers logos on the sides. A girl in a Captain Marvel shirt tells a reporter, "My favorite is Batman. He doesn't fly or shoot lasers, but he still stands up. In Avengers Tower, Tony finishes welding a small plaque. It reads, "Sanctioned Outsider. Batman operates by no-kill code, trusted when watched watcher of worlds." He bolts it above a dark corner of the armory, where a spare bat gauntlet hangs. In the sanctum, Strange meditates. He sees lines of time. Most are messy, some are dark. In none of them now does Kang hang over Earth like a sure thing. There are still threats. There are always threats. But the board is open. In cells below, Kang sits on a cot. He stares at a wall that sometimes shows him flashes of other timelines. In one, the final night stands over a frozen city, laughing. In another, Batman lies dead at his feet. In this one, Batman walked away. Kang grinds his teeth. "You think you are free," he mutters. "You are still in my web. Somewhere, somewhen I win." The wall shows him something else. A web. Not of his making. Lines of people holding hands, refusing to be moved like pieces. He looks away. On some far edge of reality, the final night watches too. He stands on his frozen Gotham and waits. "Break," he whispers to the versions of Batman out there. "Break, so I am not alone." Back on Earth, in a small apartment in New York, the boy in the Captain America shirt from the first attack looks out his window. He draws in a notebook. In his sketch, the Avengers stand in a line. Thor with his hammer, Hulk flexing, Cap with his shield, Iron Man glowing, Black Widow ready, Spider-Man crouched. In the center, slightly in front, stands Batman, cape wide, symbol mixed with A and scales clear on his chest. Under the picture, the boy writes, "They saved us." Then, after a second, he adds, "We save each other." He smiles and tapes the drawing to the wall. Outside, sirens wail. Somewhere, a villain plots. Somewhere else, a portal flickers and dies before it can open, stopped by rules written in a cosmic court. In Gotham, in New York, in halls of law seen and unseen, the name Batman now sits in new ledgers, not as a stray, glitch, not as a rogue, as a clause, as a promise, as a warning. Codex note. By joint decree of the Living Tribunal, the Sorcerer Supreme, SHIELD, and the Avengers Charter, Batman is recognized as a cross-reality guardian whose presence in Universe 616 is lawful only under a strict no-kill mandate, shared oversight, and the understanding that his symbol stands for choice over control in all worlds where he appears.